There we go. Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Hi, everyone. Lisa
Anne
doesn't
is
have much of a
home.
voice.
I know. I'm losing my voice again.
Again,
Whatever.
again.
Again, it just happens. And I was telling, we're sorry that we're late, you guys, because I haven't actually. Anne and I have not caught up for almost a month.
I would
Yeah,
say a
yeah,
month.
3 weeks, something. Yeah, because she's been running with
I've
the
been gone,
shows and
so a month. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's been a little crazy. Christine, you are just too funny and too cute, girl. Oh my God. She was so excited the last time I did resin. Well, the only time I've done resin. And then I said, well, maybe I'll do it again next week. So last week I had my projects done. I was ready to go, got everything taken care of,
You hurt
tweaked,
yourself.
tweaked my back, and
That's
was
never
like,
fun.
oh, no, no, no. And then I waited until like 9 or 10 o'clock Tuesday night to cancel my live because I was still going to try to do it. And Rich was like, he's taken, we're going to have a conversation because he threatens me with you all the time. He's
Well,
like,
he should.
do I
He
need to call
knows.
in? Do I need to call in? I'm like, no, I'll take it. He's like, you can barely sit. I know my back hurts. But anyway.
See, he knows me well. And he knows how
Yes.
to threaten. He
Yes.
is, he is a good man, Christine. Hey,
Yes.
Isabel, Kelly, Rebecca, it's so good to be back.
Yeah.
And we're sorry we're late, like Lisa said. We were catching up a little.
Yeah, a little bit. Little bit.
But I'm excited to see her resin project too, because I didn't watch her last video. And I'm kind of hoping it's the resin company that I connected with at NAMTA.
I hope so. I hope so, because I know you said you were going to check it out. But you know what? It does. I will switch if I need to. I am so in love with this stuff. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's nice when there's something new that you find and you love, right?
It's, a lot of times because we're working with, our sponsors, a lot, we have to use their product. Well, not have to, but
they
you know
support
what I mean.
us. Well, but we honestly only work with sponsors whose products we have tried and we like or love.
Yes.
I won't work with something I don't like.
No. And then get on air and say, oh, it's lovely. You guys will all love it.
I would never. No, neither one of us would ever do that.
Nope. If we don't like it, it doesn't get used. But this stuff, I'm telling you, I have been crazy about resin for quite some time, but I didn't like all the mixing and the messing and it's still messy, but just I just didn't have the patience to, which is weird, right? Because I'm a detail girl. I like stuff like that, but not, having to put something aside for 24 hours to dry. And
it's 24. When she's done, I'm going to show you guys what I made for the NAMTA show. It uses resin.
Yes.
I had to check a bag just to bring them because they were not cured. And I couldn't. When I was at the H&H America's booth, I stopped and talked to the resin guy, and he said they got one of their projects taken in a checked bag because it had a thick resin coating and it wasn't dried. And it got taken. So that's why I checked my resin, but then I had to put them in special boxes so nothing would touch them. So I had a suitcase with just my resin.
Yeah, that's just
it had a few other things, but not much.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you just hit the UV lamp, you wait a minute or two and boom, you're done. So I love it.
Yeah, it is a cooler way to do like jewelry and smaller items. You couldn't do it with bigger items, is what they told me at the show. I mean, because I said, come look at my canvas outside.
Yeah.
Said, yeah, you couldn't.
Yeah. I've got to try some of that because I want to do some coasters and I want to do a frame. And I've been playing, but I haven't, played it with something that big yet because I want to do, baby steps, and we'll see if.
Well, yeah, they said, I mean, and they had like a big UV lamp. I mean, a gigantic one. And they said still, she said it wouldn't cure properly.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering about, if I'm gonna have issues with some of the stuff that I've got. But I know Rich wasn't, he doesn't even know, but he would be looking at Amazon going, oh, she found something else she likes so much. Because I went and started ordering a bunch of stuff. I was like, oh, I'm loving this. So we'll see.
So Isabel mentioned, and I saw Isabel's stuff, the resin, because you prompted her and made her get her resin out, and she used it. And Isabel, I love when you post things that you do.
Yeah.
And I love resin. I have always loved resin.
Yeah, that's what I was telling them when I did my project 2 weeks ago. I said, Anne's been doing it for years. She absolutely loves it, but I just could not get into all of the mixing, and the waiting, I think, was the worst part. I just did not want to
air bubbles.
And air bubbles. I would call Anne and say, okay, how do you get rid of these air bubbles again?
I finally bought a torch.
I know, right?
When I did these, I didn't have one before. I always used a heat gun or a lighter. I'd be there. Or I didn't like to blow, because it's like when I blew, I felt the fumes coming down my throat, and I thought, no, that's not good.
No, and that's another reason I didn't care that much for it either, because I'm in a smaller area, and I don't want to be inhaling anything more.
You don't need to be inhaling anything.
No. But you know me, I'm crazy about rubber stamps. So I thought, okay, I'm going to play with my rubber stamps and my resin. We're going to combine them both and see what happens. So I created 2 little keychains, or these can be purse charms. I showed Rich. Rich was like, is that for one key? I was like, okay, you know what? Go away. But this is one of them that I did. All right, here we go.
That'd be cute, hanging off a journal on the
yes. We talked about journals.
Yep.
So cute. That is one that is rubber stamped. And then also this one, which I thought was adorable too. Whoops, I turn around. See that? Look how fun that is.
So cute.
Yeah. And just, stamps, resin, and a little bit of filling stuff, and you're good to go. So I think
like quick and easy that looks difficult. That's my motto.
Yeah. Well, I have been playing with this stuff left and right. I'm telling you, I cannot get enough of it. It's just so much fun. And now that I know how to incorporate it with my stamps, that I'm going to have a field day with that.
Possibility.
So, yeah, before I completely lose all of my voice, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and then we'll go from there. So, yay. Okay. So, I will be sending out the giveaway for this week. So don't forget to like, comment, and share my video, and then come back. Are you going to do yours at 2?
Yes, I think you might not have a voice, but yes, I will be here at 2. And you guys can create right along with me, because of course my project is not done. I have all my supplies gathered. I know what I'm doing, I think.
See, she's amazing with that kind of stuff, because I have to have it all done ahead of time, or I get too flabbergasted, just too much. So yes, Isabel, those are Jessie Jane bead tassels. I was wondering if anybody from Bellicon would catch that. Yeah, I love those little tassels. I thought they're adorable. So, okay, let me switch cameras over, and then we will get started and have fun with this resin. My gosh, this is just too much. All right. Let me straighten out my oh, I taped it down. I forgot. All right. So let me show you once again so you can get kind of a close-up view. So this is one of the ones that I did, and with the rubber stamp, and then I don't know if you can see this little butterfly. I added that on top. It's a small, actually it's a resin butterfly. I did not make the resin butterfly, but I had some and I thought, oh, that's just so cute. So this is the first one, or the second one, whatever. And then this is the other one. Okay, so this one is also stamped. And then over here, I added, oops, a couple little charms on here. And these are dried flowers that I added into the resin. So just so much fun, you guys. It really, really is. And I can't wait to show all to you. So let me get my little tools out here and I will show you what I did. Okay, so first of all, I know you're going to ask me where I got this stuff. So this is the company that I have been working with. It's called Let's Resin. And they're the ones that I found originally when I wanted to start playing with the UV resin. So I bought the original kit that I showed you guys 2 weeks ago on my live. And this is just some jewelry frames. And they come in, there's 2 of each. They have all these open-ended bezels, which are really, really cool. But they are a little bit different to work with. So I'll explain that when we get started. But this is where I got this. And inside of this also came, let me find them. Okay, so inside of this, there was also some jump rings. They came in the packaging. And then also the little tiny charms that I added. There is a little bag of those in there too. And what I did like about this is there's 2 of everything. So, it works perfect, if obviously for earrings and stuff like that. But for me, it works perfect because then I can do one and then have one finished and then I can show you guys how to do it. So this was had another package of these inside there also. Oh gosh, I really hope I don't lose my voice through all of this. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, and then there's some other doodads that I added. I added some glitter. I added some of these micro beads into one of them. And I added these little tiny flowers you'll see down here. So just, a lot of different stuff that I played with and had fun. But we're going to get started. So we're going to start with this one. I don't know if I'm going to get through both of them, but I will show you, or I will tell you how to do the second one if I don't get a chance to get through it, during this. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is stamp your image. Now, this is some stamps that I had from Impression Obsession. Okay. Impression Obsession is no longer, available, but you can use any mini little stamps that you have, or even the bigger ones, and then just use part of the image. So to do both of these projects, I stamped this with black ink twice, 2 separate pieces of paper. Okay. And then I watercolored the images, and then just to double make sure, I sealed them with a clear sealer. So I took them outside, just sprayed the images real quick, and decided, okay, cool, we're good to go. Because I did not want any running or, or anything like that going on. So now we're going to start with the resin. So the thing about these particular projects, because there's different ways that you can use these open bezels. I'm going to show you how to use how I did both of them. I can't talk. My goodness. All right. So let me get this. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little paintbrush here. And this is a silicone mat that I'm working off of. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to dip it right into my resin this way. Okay. And then I'm going to coat this, not like, real heavy duty or anything like that. I just want to coat it just a little bit to get the adhesive from the resin so I can set the bezel on top. I'll show you what I mean here in a sec. Okay, so just add a little bit there on the top, and then you're going to take your bezel and lay this right on top of your paper. Now, the thing about doing it this way is you have to make sure that your paper and your bezel are secure. Okay. In other words, you want to make sure that they adhere together really, really well. Because if not, you're going to have resin running around all over the place. And we don't want that. I'm going to add just a little bit more since I've been talking around the edges here. And I will say too, because resin is very sticky, I found that if you have some alcohol, not the kind that you drink, but regular alcohol, that will clean this up really, really well. And then another thing I wanted to share too. All right, let me get this on first. Okay, so I'm going to lay that on there, make sure it's on there nice and straight. And then I'm going to turn on my UV lamp, and I'm just going to cure it just a little, like maybe 20 seconds or so. Okay. And that's just more because I want to make sure that everything is going to seal properly. So I'm going to move that out of the way and press this down and make sure that we have a good seal on there. Okay. So we've got that part done. So now before I start on anything else, I'm going to add another coating to the back, and then this I will seal longer because I just want to make sure that that resin is going to stay inside the bezel and not come pouring out. One of the things I wanted to share, I'm going to go ahead and add this layer right on top here, is when you're working with small stuff like this with the resin, if you mess it up, you know what? Plop it into a container that has alcohol in it. Let it sit. Depending on how cured it is. And I mean, I did this once, it was really cured, and leave it in there for maybe even overnight and then just start working with it. You can peel the resin off if you do that. So if you make that boo-boo, you can go ahead and pull the resin right off of the bezel, which I thought was, good idea. Because if you mess up, you don't want to just throw something away if you can try to fix it. So that was a boo-boo that I found and figured out how to fix it. So now we're going to heat this for about a minute or so. Now, heating times, I told you guys from the last time on this, heating times are going to vary. They're going to vary on the resin. They're going to vary on your lamp. They're going to vary on the stuff the fillers that you put inside your resin. All of those are going to, everything's going to vary. So I learned by playing with this that the best thing to do is to just test it yourself and see what's going to work for you. So they're going to give you a standard. Okay, you need to do it for 2 to 4 minutes or 1 to 3 minutes or something like that. But what you do is try your own, because you may not have a whole lot of resin where you don't need to add to cure it for a really long time. All right, so that's not quite a minute. There it is. And then before I go further, I'm going to test it. Make sure, yep, no sticky. Okay, so when you're testing your resin, your piece, if you feel sticky, then that means it's not cured. So you want to heat it again. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around here. And for this one, we're going to mix up a little bit of resin for the inside. This is alcohol. Again, not the drinking kind. All right, so I'm going to just get in here and get my little brush cleaned off. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little cup here and I'm going to pour some resin inside my cup. Let me make sure that this is cleared out so I don't have anything left over. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to pour a little bit in here. There, that should do it. And then I'm going to add just a little sprinkle of glitter and stir it up. All right, so we're going to add just a little bit of glitter. And remember, go slow with this, okay? As you're experimenting, go slow with it. What I mean by that is if you're not sure as far as how much you're putting in, you can always add more. So start with little amounts of your fillers and then, add more if you think that you can. And I say that because if you have too much of the filler, the resin will not harden. And that goes for like if you're adding glitter or beads or any of the other stuff that I added before, like the things like that. You want to make sure, even the dye, you want to make sure that you don't have a whole lot in there because then it won't cure for you. All right, so now let's stir that up real quick. And then I'm just going to pour this right on top. And just let it go right into my bezel here. Okay. So we're going to add all of that. There we go. And then you can just take your tools, spread it out just a little bit over to all your ends. There you go. And then once it's filled, then you're going to go back in and you're going to cure it. So again, I'm going to do this for a minute. I may need it a little bit longer because there's a little bit more resin in there, but I'm going to start off with a minute. Okay, so what else did I want to tell you guys? Oh, cleanup for this. I mentioned about the alcohol wipes, things like that you can have on hand. I don't like wearing gloves when I'm crafting because I like to make sure that I can get my fingers in on what I'm doing. So I don't like wearing gloves. I did see some ideas where some of the people that were using the resin would put the finger gloves on. You know what I mean by that, where they're just cover the finger, like if you have an injury or something and you just cover the finger with silicone tips. So I did not try those yet, but I might. I don't know. But do that. And then also when you have leftover resin, like if you have it in your cup, which you're going to have, because see, there's some in there, then you just stick this under your lamp and it'll heat it. Okay, let me check this first. Okay, I think we need just a little bit more time on this. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your tools, even your mat, put them under your UV light, let it cure, and then you can just pop this right out. And, you can either add it to something if it comes out in a cute shape or whatever. Add it as a button, or I don't know. It's all kinds of fun things. But that's how you can take care of your resin that is in your tools. So, all right, I think that is probably good. Yep. All right, so there's how I did this first one. Really, really simple. Now, and this is an open bezel, right? If you have backings on your bezel, you don't have to worry about this. But if you have open bezels, you got to make sure that your resin is not going to seep out. So that's why I wanted to show you that little tip that I did by adding to the back and, coating it first so it would stick on and, stuff like that. Because I used paper. Now, if you don't want to use paper, but you still want to use the open bezels, like on this particular one that I did, I took my little bezels that are here. These are the little tiny ones that I had added to this keychain. So let me see. All right, there we go. So for this, we're going to use some heat resistant tape. And I found that this is what you're supposed to use for for open bezels, right? So we're going to take a piece of this tape. And I haven't tried it, but I'm thinking that the tape that you use, and maybe you can correct me on this, the tape that you use for sublimation, I'm thinking is probably similar to this, if not the same thing.
Well, it looks like it.
Yeah, it's heat resistant tape. So I had just assumed that that's what it was. Okay, so for this, what we're going to do is we're going to lay this down on top of here. I'm going to scooch over here a little bit better. Okay, it's only sticky on the one side. So you can either roll a piece of it under and stick it that way, or take some Scotch tape and just tape it down to your surface. Okay, there we go. And then this side, I folded down. So I wanted to show you both ways. Okay, let me scoot this mat up just a little. We'll scooch the whole thing. There we go. Okay, so now for this piece, or these pieces, I should say, you're going to put these right on top the sticky part of your tape here. And you want to, again, make sure that you get these on there really, really well. You want to make sure that they are really stuck on there because, again, you don't want your resin to leak out. Because if it leaks out, then it's a mess and you got to start all over. And, yeah, we don't want to do that. All right. So for this, I have these adorable little dried flowers that I had in my stash of stuff. And for this, what we're going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of resin into each of my bezels here. And again, I want to just make sure that those are really stuck on there. And I'm just going to add just a tad of resin on the inside there. Okay, so here, and take a little stick and just kind of smoosh it around there a little bit. And this is just so when I put my flowers in, they'll stick and it won't have to pull them up. Okay, so we're going to take our little flowers here. Oops. And we're just going to plop them right in there. There we go. Okay, so plop them in there and then make sure that so they're going to stick. That's why you want to add that first little layer. And then, whoops, I'm dropping my bottle here. And then we're going to add the rest of it right on top. There. Okay, and again, you can take a little stick or one of these little nifty tools that, if you do buy a kit, this will come, they come with these kinds of things. I used both. Okay, there we go. So I've got it filled. My flowers are in. It's all filled. So now it's ready to heat set. Now this is smaller, right? So you're not going to need to heat it or cure it, I should say, for as long as you did the larger bezel. You're just going to put it on there, just play with it. I think I do like 30 to 30 seconds to a minute on the smaller pieces. And again, I'll start them and then I'll just go back and test. That's still a little sticky. So we're going to put that right back on there and then just let that cure. But so easy. This is what I love about this stuff. It's so easy to use. I mean, before, and not to slam the regular resin, but I always had issues with it, not curing right, or I just had trouble with it. And I absolutely love using this UV stuff. All right, there you go. Now these are done. And because they're tiny, you don't have to worry about them being really warm. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to peel these right off. And then before you do anything else, peel them off and then go ahead and heat set your back. There we go. Okay. If you want to add more resin at this point to your back, you can. Not necessary, but it is sticky because the flower is there. So just go ahead and put it back under your UV lamp for, about 10-15 seconds, and then that should cure it for you. All right, so we got that one. Did you see how easy and fun this is to use? Let me see some of your stuff while I'm waiting for this. Oh, Christine, I knew you were gonna go bonkers over this. And I did promise 2 weeks ago, that I was going to do another resin project for you guys. So I definitely wanted to make sure, and I actually did have it done, but then I hurt my back and that was that. So now both of these are done. You got your backs cured, you got your fronts cured. And to finish it off, what you're going to do from here, now let me wipe my hands a little bit with some alcohol because they're sticky. So I just had like a little bottle of alcohol right next to me in a spray bottle, and then I can get the sticky off my fingers. It does stink, but hey. All right, so to put this together, what I did is I had all kinds of jewelry findings, right? So I had these little pieces of chains, and this is how I did both of my keychains. They came in chunks like this, right? So you can add, you can take away, you can, they're in chunks for you so you can do however you like. So for this one, let me put this back down here so I can show you here what I did. Okay, so for this one, I used one whole length of this. And this is just going to depend on what what you like, how you like it, long or whatever. This one, I believe, I did it just like that. Yeah, it's the same as this one. So this is the size that these come in, these little strips of chain. And then what I did was I just took some jump rings, just some tiny little jump rings. And then I added my bezel onto my chain, and then a lobster claw or clasp, I think it's called lobster clasp at the top for your keys, your purse, however you want to do it. And then I just added some jump rings to connect my two little, my smaller bezels right here, to connect them on there. And then that's what you do to finish off this particular keychain. So again, let me show you up close so you can see it really good. So see, I just added the chain, added a jump ring here, a jump ring to the lobster clasp. And then I added just half of another piece of chain. I only added half the size. So I think there's like 4 or something on there. And then attach them with the jump rings together. And then you've got the two little charms that will dangle off of your keychain. Isn't that so cute? So, so easy to do. All right. So that is those. Now, I wanted to show you about the two differences with with working with the open bezels, because most of the time, if you look online, people that are working with the open bezels, they'll have them down taped on. Okay. And that's because they're filling them that way. I wanted the backing on mine, so I did mine the way I did. But you really want, if you're going to use open bezels, you really want to invest in some of this heat tape. And then that way you won't have to worry about it leaking out. Now, the second one, super easy again. I did the same exact thing where I'm just going to take some of my resin here and I'm going to just coat it right on top here of my image. Just doing a real light coat, because my concern is not, layering the resin on. My concern at this point is making sure that my paper is sticky enough that my frame is going to sit on top of it and then it will cure solid. Okay, so again, I'm going to leave that on there just like that. And I'm going to cure this for just, I've been wanting to say heat set, right? But you want to cure, not heat set. So you want to make sure that that's really on there. And for this bigger one, I did stick my fingers in here just to make sure that, it adhered a little bit better. So I'm just going to do that for just a couple seconds, probably about 15 or so seconds, guys. And then I really want to make sure that that is on there good. So at this point, if you have some extra hanging over here, because you haven't cured it all the way, you can just take some scissors and just snip that right off. So see, I did all of these boo-boos ahead of time so you guys would know how to fix them. I like to say that, but really it's just because I messed up and had to start all over or whatever. All right, so I got a little bit of paper hanging on my edge here. So again, I'm just going to trim that right off. Okay. And then before I start filling the front, I'm going to go ahead and put that other layer on the back. And just make sure that everything stays on there nice and tight. Because when I first did this, I didn't make sure that it was really tight, and my resin came pouring out the bottom of my bezel. So I was, I was like, oh no. That's why I said, if you make a boo-boo, put it in a cup or whatever. They're small. Put them in a cup with some alcohol in there. Let them sit. And then you can just take, what I did was I took my this nifty little tool that I have from my Cricut from a million years ago. It's, got this straight edge on it. And then I just peeled it. And, I had to work with it a little bit, but I got it off and I could reuse it. Okay, so I think, nope, we're still a little sticky. So we want to cure that a little bit longer. Now, you don't want to really do that a whole lot on the front of your piece, especially because you don't want to leave fingerprints in your resin. I'm just doing it just to make sure that, it did cure in the time that I was hoping that it was going to cure in. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we've got that part on, right? So now what we're going to do is put the cap back on this, and we're going to pour a little bit of the resin right inside. Now this is, pour it in the center there, and we're not going to fill it at this point. Okay, not going to fill it. I'm just going to add enough in here just to kind of coat it. All right, and I see a little tiny bubble. Nope, no bubble. Never mind. See, that's what I love about this stuff. It does not bubble. All right. Now we're going to take some of these really pretty beads that I have, these colored beads. Oh, let's see. I can't use that because it'll make a mess. So let's see. We'll just dab in. All right. And I'm just going to put a little bit down here at the bottom. So I'm just going to sprinkle these in. And I don't want a lot because I don't want it to cover my image. So I just want to add a little bit at the bottom there. And then again, I can come back in with one of my nifty little tools here and move it around. There we go. Okay, now from here, I went ahead and heat set it again, cured it again. But you can go ahead and fill it at this point. But when I did mine, I did cure it that second time in the front of the bezel there. So, but again, I'm not going to do it like for a long period because I'm going to add more resin. I just want to make sure that nothing is going to scooch out the sides there. And it looks like it's going to be, yep, that's going to be fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to finish filling this. And just pour it in there. Okay. Now, there I do see. Okay, I do have a little bit of a bubble there, but I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fill that. And that looks pretty good. So now we're going to cure this for about a minute. Again, And this is actually at this point, once this curing is done, you would be done with it. But I wanted to add the little butterfly on it. So what I did when I finished, just going to go ahead and let that all cure fully. And then I'm going to attach my little butterfly and then cure it just a little bit more. Now you could put the butterfly inside the bezel and then just pour your resin on top, but I liked it out. I thought it was really cute being out of the bezel. All right, so I'm going to stop that for right now. And then I'm going to take my little butterfly here. And there we go. Just going to add, now this you're just going to add just a tiny, tiny bit. And if you come in and there's too much, you can smooth it out. And then you're just going to lay your butterfly right there on top. And then you're going to cure it that last time. Okay. Whoops, it's slip sliding around. So I'm going to cure it for just a few seconds because I don't want it to harden completely yet because I want to move my butterfly a bit. See how fast that cures? There we go. I wanted my butterfly, he was kind of laying on its side there a little bit, so I wanted it up a little bit more. So now you're going to finish with the curing. So you leave this on about a minute or so, and you're done. And then I'll show you how I finished it off. Super, super easy. This is some of the easiest products that I have worked with. This and kind of reminds me of when Rhinestone Genie came out, and you could do rhinestones so quickly.
Rhinestones in minutes. Yep.
Yeah, exactly, right? That's what this kind of reminds me of. I'm gonna wipe my hands off a little bit. They're sticky. Okay, so there you go. You've got your bezel. It's all done. All done and pretty. And then to create your keychain for this one, what I did here was I took a piece of, this is leather trim, and I took my little lobster clasp, and I put it on, I ran the trim through it. Okay. And then from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some glue. Okay. Now, I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap at the top up here where the, oh, this is not going to come out, where the clasp is, just because, you know, you want to make sure that it's going to be able to move around. Okay, this is going to give me issues, so we will use this. All right, we just want some glue. Oh, geez, I think this is probably clogged too. I really need to clean my tools. All right, this one looks a little better. Yep, perfect. All right. So just run a little bit of glue and give yourself some room where the where you're going to fold it, and also give yourself some room down at the bottom. And I'll tell you why here in just a sec. Okay, so fold this over. There we go. Okay. So that way you leave a little bit right here at the top there. Okay. You leave that not glued so that your lobster clasp will move. And then down here at the bottom, what you're going to do before you glue this part down is you're going to add a large jump ring. Okay, so we're just going to add this jump ring just right here at the end. And I used my hot glue gun. I forgot to turn it on, or I would have used that. But I used my hot glue gun and then just glued it together. You want to leave enough room down at the bottom there. Okay, because that's how you're going to connect your bezel. So leave some room in your jump ring. See, just like that. Just leave a little bit of room. And then what you're going to do is take your decorations. Now, these are from Jesse James beads. And they're just two of the little tassels that they have. And I just added them to a jump ring and then attached the bezel and my flowers onto my keychain. So it comes out just like this. There we go. And then if you want, you can add a cute little bow at the top. But I just thought it's so fun. It's easy, springy. Oh, so springy with the colors and stuff. So I hope you guys give this a try because it really is a lot of fun. And whoever wins for next week, I'm going to send you the bezels that I created. So you'll have them. But that's it. All right. So talk amongst yourselves.
Well, that was great. I have some questions and comments that I'll go through. So, Isabel, you said you never thought of using an open bezel and you have lots of jewelry wire. I'm wondering if you could make that into shapes. Definitely. Use a thick wire that holds its shape, not like a 26 gauge,
right?
But like a 16, 18 at the thinnest.
Yeah,
but
you want
it does work. I used to do that a lot. And then Michael popped in, just so you know.
You see, that's the wire is inside the bezel. I don't know if you can see it, but
she means to create the bezel.
Oh, gotcha. Yes, that's a great idea.
That is perfect.
That is a great idea.
Michael popped in and said, "Hi, Mom."
Who popped in?
Michael.
Oh, hi, son.
No, he's not here anymore, I don't think. He just said, "I'm popping in for a minute."
Oh, geez. Michael, you're at work. Quit messing around.
Maybe he was at break.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, it is that time he went in.
That's why he said he couldn't be here long.
Oh, he must want something.
Stop. Christine wants to know if it would be okay to hold it down with a toothpick while working.
The bezel?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Or the resin. I don't. She just asked.
Yeah, sure. Toothpick. It doesn't have to be silicone. You saw me. I used part of a dowel, a skinny dowel to move things around. You can hold it down with that. You can also hold them down with your tweezers if you're using tweezers. You just want to make sure that you don't stick them in the resin. Just hold the.
Then you would need that alcohol that's not drinking alcohol.
That's not drinking alcohol. That's right, because you have.
I was going to say, well, you could try drinking alcohol. Vodka is clear and 80%.
That is true. That is true. And when I saw, and actually, I probably would have been thinking that a lot more when I saw my resin coming out from underneath my bezel the first time. I was like, no. Well, okay, I'll start drinking. But yeah, quick and easy and just fun stuff. I love it.
Isabel said, great tip about the alcohol wipe to wipe your fingers. Because as we all know, it is almost impossible to get it off.
Yeah, because it's sticky. You can also buy alcohol wipes that come, I know that they have them singly packaged. Those are, more medical for syringes and whatnot, but you can, they have them in the wipes, like just regular old household wipes. It's got alcohol in them. So I don't, I just have this really cool bottle that just
that works. That works for a lot of things.
It does. I thought it was the acetone. That's what I had originally thought would clean this up. And acetone does work also, but I did find that the rubbing alcohol works better.
Acetone might be harsher on your hands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I just spray it on some paper towels and wipe my hands.
Yeah, perfect. Rebecca said she loved the sparkles. So pretty.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was great. They looked great.
Christine, you are so cute.
Isabel has lots of thicker wire. Yay.
Yeah. That is a great idea. That did not even cross my brain, but
it works.
That's a great idea.
Yep.
And make sure that you have the heat resistant tape that you can stick it on, because if not, you're gonna have a mess.
Well, because you can create it and you can even do your loop and everything. So it works.
Yeah.
Perfect, and you can shape it around anything.
Yeah, great idea.
Great.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Okay. Yeah. No, it was. Those were super cute, Lise.
Oh, thanks.
And I'm glad you're finally using resin. I think when I was in charge of ETI resin for all those years on my design team, and every single person a ginormous box.
Yes.
Ginormous. I bet Lisa still has
90%. I do, because I did not like it.
Well, you have to really enjoy the process. I love resin. We did a countertop in David's bathroom.
I know.
And I love resin. So I did use resin for the show. You guys know, I was at 2 shows. I was at H&H Americas, which I loved, and I have been a media partner for Bella with them in the past. This year I didn't, because our contact quit.
Oh.
And I didn't want to reach out to the guy in charge, because he had just become president of the North America H&H, and he had a lot on his plate, Yeah. And I thought, he's not going to remember me. Well, he did.
Oh, cool.
So when I saw him, he's like, why weren't you our media partner? I'm like, okay, so next year. So next year I will be, and we'll have a booth again.
Fun. Yes.
That was an awesome show. They had over 650 booths.
Wow.
It was like going to the old shows of the past. It's
really
so awesome.
Oh, don't tell me.
So we spent 4 or 5 days there, came home for 3 days, left again, went to NAMTA, spent 6 days there. So it's been a whirlwind. But for NAMTA, they let the designers who wanted have a showcase, which was awesome. And then they also asked us to do 12 by 12 canvases, because NAMTA is an art materials show. And our theme was red, white, and blue, because of the 250th birthday of America.
Right.
And gold. So I did paint pourings. My favorite paint pouring I did not use, because when I put the colors together, they mixed so well, they didn't necessarily look red, white, and blue anymore.
Oh, okay.
My first one.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Is that not beautiful? That one is my favorite.
That's gorgeous. Oh my
But I
goodness.
didn't use it because it wasn't distinctive enough. Right.
Okay.
And I used 2 different paint companies for these.
Okay.
I'll tell you about those in a minute. So this one I loved, but the gold came through way too much.
Ooh.
I did not use this one either. There's too much gold. I mean, it just took away.
Really? I don't know. I like it.
Well,
I
for
like
me-
gold though.
For me, there was too much gold.
Oh, I like it.
So this one was done. This one was done with plaid ready to pour.
Okay.
And this was done with my Amsterdam paints.
Oh, okay.
So then this one was also done with the plaid. And
Okay.
I used this one and I applied resin. So like after you do the paint pouring, you have to let it dry and cure for like 2 weeks before you can apply the resin. Y'all
Right.
know I'm a last minute girl.
Yeah, she is.
I'm applying my resin, and the resin has to cure for 72 to 84 hours.
Oh, cheers.
So I'm applying my resin 72 hours before I'm getting on a plane. But they didn't get damaged. And this is,
Oh my
I love
gosh.
this one.
That
And
is
it's not like it
stunning.
has any direction, but
No
this
way.
is done with plaid.
That's
And
gorgeous.
they have paint that comes ready to pour, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the difference. So
That's
for this one,
beautiful.
I used the Amsterdam paints.
Okay.
And Amsterdam is an art materials paint. Amsterdam, the pigment quality is so high.
Yeah. Off the charts. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So look at the difference. Same exact colors. This was a navy blue.
Wow.
But the difference in the vibrancy.
Yeah,
So
the
that's where you
pigment.
get the difference in a high quality paint where you need just a drop
Yes. Yes.
and inexpensive hobby paint where you use a bunch.
Right.
I
Right.
use hobby paint all the time. I am not a painter. I am not any stretch. Neither one. We're crafters. We love to craft. We love to
I
do all
don't
the
paint.
things.
Nope.
But painting has never been. But I do love to play, and I did a paint pouring for Bella for the cover. I didn't put it on the cover because the same year I did a dress for one of my granddaughters, and I had Eleanor on the cover.
Oh, that's
In
right.
that
Okay. I know
Americana
which one you're
dress.
talking about.
It
Yeah.
was the first year where we did a total Americana theme,
Yes. Yes.
but I did a red, white, and blue paint pouring for that. But these ones, I just wanted to see the difference. But see, you can see the resin. It's so stunning.
It makes all the difference.
It does. I mean, if you look at just the paint pouring and then with the resin.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this resin is ETI. I mean, Environmental Technologies.
Okay.
They have been sold. I worked for them for about 5 years.
Yeah.
And when they sold, they brought everything under their umbrella of the new company. But they still carried the ETI products. And I love that resin. I always have. But what you did is amazing. And it's perfect for quick results and small projects and
Small projects.
people that
Yes.
don't want to mess with. I mean, because like I still have, I'm doing live today, but I still have my entire table. I put butcher paper on top of it. I put 3 layers so I could take the layers off as I did things.
As you go, yeah.
And I still have one layer on there, and I'm leaving it because two of my granddaughters are going to come over and do these for their bedroom in their new house.
Oh,
So,
nice. Yeah,
and your
see,
final pour piece is so good. Thank you.
I absolutely love that, but I would not do anything that big.
Oh, and I know. And
I just wouldn't. Although I said I did get a frame that, it's like, I don't know, a mold. It's like about this big that I'm going to try to do with the UV resin. We'll see. But
yeah.
Those are just absolutely gorgeous. But that's what I was telling everybody 2 weeks ago when I did it. I was telling them about you and how much you used to love doing resin, and
I do.
the beautiful things that you would create would just like blow me away. But I just could never, it's kind of like, like the painting thing with me too. It just was not a craft I got into a lot.
Well,
But
it can be even though I like quick and easy, to me, this is kind of quick and easy because you mix it, you pour it, you leave it.
Yeah, it's just the drying time in between. But yeah, it is quick and easy. I mean,
Isabel, I've tried so many things to seal my paint pour projects, but using resin glazing in the future, yes. It just, because if you look at
gives it that glossy, gorgeous.
It does. And from a distance, it's amazing. So like this one is not same paints, different look, but look at that shine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See that I love.
Patient. And for these, all those years I worked with resin, I never bought. I always wanted one of those little torches, and I didn't buy one. My husband and I were shopping for something. I said, "Oh, there's a torch. I'm going to buy it." And he's looking at me like, "Oh yeah, I can use it too."
Yeah.
The torch. I mean, because you have I always used one of those long lighters,
right?
Or a heat gun. Heat gun can be dangerous because you can burn your resin.
Yeah.
But a lighter, and you'd have to keep doing this to turn it up. But the torch, deal difference. Yeah. So I just wanted to share. But
they're beautiful. Oh my God, I would. But I have always loved the resin projects that you did in the past. We had
a great team. I mean, Christy, who was part of Bellicon this year, she was on the resin team.
Yep.
Now, I mean, she has art everywhere.
Yeah, beautiful work.
Her stuff is stunning.
Oh, yeah. I'll stick to the little stuff that I can manage.
But resin just ups the ante, even in little stuff, in the bezels, because you can use like glossy accents to do something. You can put on layers of varnish.
Yep.
But resin just
it's like, it reminds me. The UV resin reminded me of how I felt when Rhinestone Genie came out, and I about lost my mind when I could figure, when you could bling everything in a minute. It was just so cool. And
they just keep coming out with really cool things. And I want you guys to know, I did take some videos at the show. I took tons of pictures. I did not, for the first time ever, bring a computer with me. Not to
wow.
I didn't bring a computer. I did not bring my iPad. I brought my phone.
Wow.
And while I could have uploaded things with my phone, I chose not to. I chose to enjoy. Good. So I'll be sharing videos over the next.
Yeah, I told them that you would be sharing videos from the show.
Because there were really cool things. But I know, no computer. It was odd to not go back to the hotel and work for 3 hours.
Yeah, that's I'm speechless on that one, girl. You without your computer.
I know.
Craziness.
I thought it's pretty heavy.
I know, right? We just want everything light and quick and easy. Yeah, see, I think it's our
Well,
age.
because I was going to bring my iPad, but then I have a keyboard for my iPad, and it makes it heavy too. I thought I'm not bringing any. So
Yeah, I would be lost without my computer because I don't use my phone for anything like that.
well, I didn't use
So,
my phone to post anything. I have not posted a picture of me with anybody. Where
oh, you
usually I
will.
would, and usually I do lives,
Yep.
and I chose not to. And when I recorded things, I did buy mics, so I was able to give the person a mic so we could hear them
Oh,
nicely.
nice. Okay.
And
Yes.
that was nice. So I will put some videos together and share them over time.
Yeah. We'll love it. Love it. Love it.
Sometimes
Love
being
it.
in the moments are more important. True, Christine. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, it's so true.
So for all of
Love
you,
it.
like, share, and comment this awesome video that Lisa did to enter for next week's giveaway. And
Yep.
we will be back in like 35 minutes for my live.
Oh, that's cool. And I have a winner from 2 weeks ago.
That we'll announce during my live.
Yes.
So,
yep, I already got the winner.
Thank you all for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Yes. And don't forget to take some time to craft.
Because it's good for your soul. We all know that.
Yep.
Rebecca, I'd be lost without my computer as well. I know. It was odd.
Yeah.
But it was nice.
I bet.
Because we came back to the room. We talked.
Yes.
We talked about what we saw. We did,
Yeah.
I didn't.
And a lot of times in the past, especially when you're working those shows, you don't have time, so you got to get your computer to do this and that because you got to get stuff out and,
And I thought,
nope.
It can wait.
It can wait. Yeah. I'm glad that you had a great time at both shows.
They were good. So
I know she's going to tell me all about it. Can't wait. All right, you guys.
New sponsors for BellaCon next year.
Yay!
So, yay! That's even better.
All right, so we will see you guys all back here in about 35 minutes.